Nick, welcome to the cave.
Thanks for having me, man.
Exciting time. Film, little Cobra Kai from last year.
Yeah,
You've been on a little roll.
it's been good. It's been nice.
So yeah, you got a film coming out called Nine Night. We'll talk about that in a little while. But before we start getting into that part of the interview, how did you decide you wanted to get into this industry?
Yeah, well, I sort of grew up. I grew up on the East Coast. Both my parents were involved in the theater,
Uh-huh.
so it was sort of like the family business. And I did not initially want to be in it. I wanted to be a diplomat, but after doing a little like research, figuring stuff out for myself, I sort of realized that storytelling was just in my blood, and I couldn't escape it.
How old were you when you said you kind of had an idea?
Yeah, I mean, I think I really took it for granted for a long time. It's like
Yeah.
my childhood was like my dad was directing Treasure Island when I was 4. So I was like backstage with all the pirates, like that was normal for me. So I didn't
Mhm.
realize how special it was. Um and My high school had a in 10th grade, you had a day where you sort of like shadowed someone in a business that you wanted to go into.
Yeah.
And so I like went to DC, shadowed this guy at a think tank, and was like, oh, desk job, not for me. And then I was like, wait, so you guys are just like playing games and telling stories and being imaginative? Like, that's what I want to be doing.
Yeah. Did you at first did you start off in like in a theater, or was that the plan, or did you right away
No,
wanted to do like TV and film?
yeah, I think I have just like the utmost respect for both my parents. The fact that they were able to raise me as artists is like sort of incredible, having ventured on this journey myself. Theater is really tough. It's really demanding. I really love it, but it sort of seemed to me at a young age that like if you wanted to be making real money, uh, film and television was where it was at. And so I've really loved the opportunities I've had to do theater. But I think once in 10th grade I had that realization. I was like, well, let me do. I want to do film and television, and um, I modeled for a bit, just sort of partly as a way to, uh, sort of squeeze my way into a
Yeah.
see for acting and talent. So I sort of I've had the long view plan for a while, so it's been coming to fruition recently, which has been
Yeah.
lovely.
I've had guests on before that've done both theater and
Yeah,
TV and film, and they love the theater part, but they also love the TV. But the one thing they don't mind is like I can screw up at a TV film, like
yeah.
theater, there's no way to recover from that.
It's funny because it's the one thing, the big differences about theater is obviously you're live, but also you have a way longer rehearsal period.
Okay.
So like for theater, you'll have done it, 100, 200, 300 times
Yeah.
before you do it on opening night. And so there are these like, you can find these really wonderful moments just through repetition.
Yeah.
But then of course, like exactly like you said, when something goes wrong on stage, it honestly can sometimes build really magical moments, which is also true in film and television, which is really fun. Sometimes those wrong moments are the most real.
Yeah. But sometimes your castmates help you a little bit in a way. They
Yes,
help you recover from it.
yes, absolutely, absolutely. I was doing a play one time where a really integral prop of fake alcohol was not put in its right place,
Oh.
and I sort of the other actor was like, how about this vodka? Because it was the only thing in the cabinet. And like the whole bit was they had to like pour it and I had to like take a big gulp. And I like heard her uncrack it and I was like, oh, this bottle is vodka. And that has never been opened before. I was like, oh, I guess I'm drinking a cup full of vodka in the middle of this play today. So yeah, it can be fun. It can be chaos.
So yeah, new film Night Night. Tell us a little bit about that. Like, how did you? First of all, like, how exciting was this? It just got released a couple of days ago, also, right?
Yeah. We had our sort of premiere for the cast and crew on
Yeah.
Saturday, and yesterday the 16th we had the actual premiere and came out. So
Yeah.
it's very exciting.
Now you play Robert. How did you get approached for this role? Tell us the story behind that.
Yeah, so I actually I have known one of the producers from college, who also edited it, Teresa Bigelow, and she is just a great friend from college, and they were looking for. I was actually auditioned for a different part in the film, and then I think just there were some scheduling conflicts or whatever, and they had to bring me in last minute for Robert. So I actually had 2 days. I had 2 days to. I was flying back from Australia, and had to just be like, talk to my agent because I'm about to be totally unreachable for 13 hours while I fly across the Pacific Ocean.
Yeah.
So I was really excited to sort of. It felt like not only was it going to be a fun project, but I got to sort of come in last minute and tackle this big role, and it ended up being a real blast.
Now, was this like a little Zoom audition or something before you got offered the role? Or was this
actually, I filmed the audition for the other character in like the laundry room of my partner's of her like uncle's house in Australia.
Yeah.
And sent that in, and it was actually cool because because of whatever scheduling conflict there was, and that resulted in me sort of playing Robert. I never auditioned for it.
Okay. Wow.
So there was never any sort of preconceived notion of what I was going to do, which was actually quite freeing as an actor. So often, it's like, oh, they hired me because I did this. And so this was kind of fun because I hadn't done anything. And so it just felt very like I had the opportunity to sort of go in whatever direction I wanted.
Tell us a little bit, like without giving spoilers, obviously, what the movie is about.
Yeah, so it's a psychological thriller. It's sort of about this young woman dealing with a sort of tragic accident, and sort of how her relationship with her sort of new boyfriend before the accident, who has sort of stayed with her through this like 5-month coma that she's been in, basically. And just sort of how that evolves and the sort of trials and tribulations of that circumstance.
Now, your character Robert, you play the boyfriend, right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah. So how do you you said you had 2 days to like even prepare for this? Like, how did you memorize your script in 2 days? And like, and how do you prepare to play this person?
Totally. I was lucky in that they didn't sort of load me up. The first day I had some small scenes, but they didn't I had a couple days after that to sort of be like, okay, and what happens later in this movie? But I mostly just I felt like I didn't have a lot of time to sort of, what I would normally do is really like read it a number of times and, sit with it. I like to sit with things. But I just sort of went, I don't have a lot of time. I sort of have a gut instinct of what this character is. And I think I just need to trust myself, trust the training I've done over the years, and just really go out there and just swing.
How long were you on set filming this project?
It was about like a month and a half, I want to say.
Where'd you film?
We were in Corsicana, Texas, the nice little small town, like an hour and a half outside of Dallas. So I'm a city boy, so it was fun being in a small town for that period of time, and it was a lovely place.
Yeah. How was it with the COVID restrictions and everything while you were filming this?
We filmed this. I think I got back from filming this, and then a week or two later, COVID hit.
Okay. Yeah, so it's been sitting on the shelf for a little while with the editing and everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we snuck it in. Yeah, I think they wanted to also wait, until we could have a little bit more of like a premiere in person. But yeah.
How was it working with Nikki Coss? Because she was her first directorial debut, pretty much, with everything.
Yeah, totally. It was really fun. I felt, sort of going back to my casting process. I felt really sort of trusted with the role, which just was very nice from a sort of actor director standpoint of I just felt I felt like I had room to roam, and she would point me in whatever direction she needed to for the
Yeah.
script. And sort of the nature of a psychological thriller is such that like I think you always want the audience to be guessing a little bit. And so we sort of would oftentimes like give a few different options of a line so that they can make those decisions in editing, which was fun.
That's great. Now, how was it working with like the rest of the cast though, like the chemistry and everything?
We got along great. I mean,
Yeah.
we were in a small town for a month. So thankfully we all really liked each other and got along. But no, we worked hard and we played hard.
Now, for the listeners and the viewers, how can they find this film to watch?
I think it's on most video on demand platforms here. Just came out on the 16th, night. And you can also definitely find the information on Night's Instagram page.
Now, I mentioned earlier, last year, we all saw you on Cobra Kai, man. You're part of that family now.
Yeah,
how exciting was that?
It was super exciting. It was a dream come true. My older brother may have been even more excited than I was, but only because he grew up with Karate Kid. Taking part in it, the fans are so dedicated. They're so respectful. They're so knowledgeable. I mean, like I obviously have watched the third film like just a number of times at this point. Just in my research for the role, it was the first time I was playing the young version of someone who is established already. Thomas Ian Griffith did such a sort of legendary portrayal of the character that I think is one of the reasons the character is so beloved by the fans. And so to get to sort of flesh out his earlier years in the military and present a really different character that has room to grow was really fun. And I felt very honored to be given the responsibility.
When you read the script for Twig, did you have an idea this was Terry Silver at first, or while you're filming it, you kind of started figuring it out?
Yeah, they had me, I think, just do the sides are like the audition scene for young Kreese, just because I think they knew maybe that was going to be coming back for that second episode and whatnot. So I didn't know I had auditioned for him, but once they offered me Twig, then they told me who I really was, and that he was initially called Mayonnaise.
Wow.
And I, growing up, like, when you walk into an acting class, they're always like, what do you see this person playing? And I'm a little pasty, so I'd always get vampire. So I was like, obviously, like, Mayonnaise sort of makes sense in that regard. And then they were like, actually, we think you're scrawnier than you are pasty, so Twig. And I was like, wow, guys, like, okay, I see how it is. Awesome. But no, it was such a blast. And
so like we saw that character in like the flashbacks. Are we gonna see you again? So flashbacks.
All I can say is that I had such a blast filming it, and anytime I get an opportunity to do that, I would jump at the chance.
Yeah. And how does that make you feel? Because like now you're part of Cobra Kai, like you're one of the guys.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's super cool. I think beforehand I had never really contemplated being part of a sort of a franchise.
Yeah.
That like any actor, is really cool if it happens, but I really like it. I'm sort of a nerd about, like, I play Dungeons and Dragons, play all that kind of stuff. So like I really got into the lore of Cobra Kai, and it was really fun. Terry Silver is one of the founders of Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
Like his role in the sort of lore of Cobra Kai is really deep. So it was really awesome to get that chance to portray him and to sort of just give us a glimpse into, before Cobra Kai even was a concept.
Yeah, it's awesome. Any other projects that you can like tell us that you're working on or coming up next for the listeners and viewers to find you on?
I've got an episode of NCIS LA coming out sometime soon. I don't think I've gotten the exact release date on that one. Going to be doing a very cool sci-fi short film coming up. We're shooting in January, so got some stuff lined up. Looking forward to getting them out there.
Awesome. Lastly, how can the viewers and listeners find you on social media, Nick?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram, Nick A Marini, and that's sort of where I reside. I'm not on Twitter or anything like that.
Nick, this was great. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.